everybody, welcome to the Inspired Knitting Podcast. I'm your host Bobby and I am coming to you from Northern Ontario, Canada. Today is Thursday, December the 9th. Yes, I believe it's the 9th of 2021. I would first like to start off by welcoming any new viewers who may be tuning in for the very first time. Welcome. I know that there has been a lot of new faces, so thank you for checking out my channel and subscribing. I greatly appreciate it. And to all my returning viewers, welcome back. This is a podcast mostly about my knitting adventures. There is a little bit of crochet and spinning and all the fibery fun. So if that's your kind of thing, then this is the podcast for you. So, where can you find me on the interwebs? You can find me on Instagram as Inspired Knitting Podcast, and you can find me on Ravelry as XCountryGirl1986X, and yes, I will have all that information listed down below. So, it's roughly been about 3 weeks. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit rusty with this. I didn't even bring show notes today, so it's going to be interesting. But yeah, I didn't want to leave it much longer. I do have quite a bit to share with you guys today. Not as much as I would like. I have been knitting like a crazy person since we last talked. But there's a lot of it that has been Christmas in knitting. So I will be sharing one thing with you guys today as a photo because it has been gifted. But there are some things that I cannot share because they do watch this podcast. So I can't do that. But I do have quite a bit to share with you guys today. So we'll get right into it. I have some finished objects. I have a half finished object. I have a couple works in progress, and then I have a little bit of stash enhancement. So we will jump right into it. So the first thing I'm going to share with you in finished objects today, I am absolutely in love with these, and they are so adorable. So Jody Brown of the Grocery Girls podcast, she does a hat vent every year, or this is her 3rd year of doing it. Now, I've never done it before, and I don't know why, because it is so addicting, but this is her 3rd year of doing it, and I had seen it on the Grocery Girls podcast, I seen it on Instagram, and I thought they were adorable, but it just didn't catch my attention. So I found a new to me podcast. It's called Pearled in Texas, and it's 3 wonderful ladies from Texas, Melissa, Carrie, and Elizabeth. And I watched their latest 2 episodes, and now I'm binge watching from the beginning. I'm gonna say maybe they have almost 30 episodes in total, and I'm totally addicted. I just love their podcast. Wonderful ladies. They're knitters. I think Melissa does a little bit of crochet, and she also quilts as well. So I wish I could be a quilter. I have dabbled in it. I do sew, obviously, but yeah, but I love watching it. I love seeing it. So yeah, it's a really nice podcast, and they always offer a tip in their episodes, which I think is amazing, because as knitters or crocheters, quilters, we could use all the tips that we can get. More knowledge is key, right? So I just really love their podcast. So if you're looking for a new podcast, definitely recommend you check them out because they have wonderful content. So anywho, off track. Elizabeth had done Hat Vent 2021, and when I saw hers, I think it was just her colors that grabbed me. I thought they were so beautiful, so I wanted to do these little hats, and like I said, I'm so glad that I did. So there's 6 hats in the collection, and what they are is fingering held double. So I suppose if you wanted to stash bust some DK or worsted, you could as well. But I just went into my minis and used up fingering. So here's the first one that I did. This one's got some faux cables. A lot of fun. And for all these hats, I just did my own little pom-poms. So there's the first one. And then the second one, I made a poor choice in my yarn colors. That's supposed to be a color work that says joy. So I thought that it was going to be high enough contrast, and it was not. So yeah, but that's okay. I still love it. So there's that one. And the next one, all these stitch patterns are very, very easy and beginner friendly. So I would not be intimidated at all. This one here, I just held fingering with a mohair. This one here, I enjoyed, I think I'm going to say the most. It reminds me so much of a Stephen West kind of vibe. And it was so much fun to do. Not hard at all. This is another fun one. I really enjoyed that. And then the last one, which has a little tassel. So this one here I modified slightly to pattern, from pattern. So she uses, for the inside color here, there's like 2 different colors that she uses. I chose only to do the one color, but you can do anything you want with these hats. That's what's so great about them. But yeah, I have my 6 little hats. Now Jody has some options in her pattern what you can do with these. You can attach them onto gifts, or you can use them as bottle toppers, or she has instructions how to make an I-cord garland, which is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to hang it up on my wall. But they are so much fun, and if you're looking to stash bust, even better. So yeah, I really enjoyed these, and I can't wait to, I'm gonna get the garland, like the string knit up so I can hang them up on my wall next. It'll be adorable. So yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you, I kind of want to look back on 2020 and 2019's hat vents and maybe do some more, but I'm trying to behave. So that was Hat Vent 2021 by Jody Brown of the Grocery Girls. And again, I always leave detailed show notes in the description box below, so all you have to do is there's like a little arrow that points down. Just click on that, and I always put direct links that you can click on that go right to the patterns. So yeah. So the next thing that I have finished is another gnome, of course. Still hooked on this gnome obsession, and it's all your fault, Angela. I'm just joking. I love them. So the next gnome that I chose to cast on, excuse me, was the Adventure gnome of last year. So it was the Advent gnome of 2020 by Imagined Landscapes. So I don't know, I might have shared that I had completed the hat last time, but he is now fully complete, and he's got fluffies all over him, of course. But he was so much fun to do, and he's adorable. So I really love the little details, like the little ball on his hat and his beard. You can actually block, like once you do the beard, you can actually block it out. I decided I wanted it to look natural and funky. Yeah, adds more character. So his legs, they don't have to stay like that. I just got them tucked up under his arms, but you can do, and there is an option to do like a little belt buckle. I chose not to do that, but isn't he cute? He's got these little, oops, these little elf booties. Isn't that cute? He's just adorable, and I really love him. And the beard was not hard at all. I was a little nervous. I will talk about the next project, but I tried to do a crocheted loop stitch and I failed miserably. I could not seem to it's not that it's hard, but I just wasn't getting it and it wasn't to my liking. So I gave it up and I went a different route. So I was really nervous about the knitted one, but the knitted one was so easy. It is super simple, so I would not be concerned about it at all. And I really enjoyed that his nose was part of it, so you didn't have to do it separately. So I really love Imagine Landscapes. She comes out with some very beautiful patterns, and yeah, her gnomes are the cutest. So this is the Adventure Gnome by Imagine Landscapes. So Imagine Landscapes is doing another mystery, kind of like an Advent gnome along this year. It is called No Gnome Left Behind, I believe. So I will link that below as well. So what it is a clue comes out every day for 24 days, I believe. So you get a fun little story and you get some recipes, and then you get clues to the gnome that we are doing. And I think his name is Gnomeberry. I think. I haven't really looked at the pattern that much. So I have started it. Once I casted him off, I was super excited to dive into the new one. So I got his beard done. I did not bring it because it's just not enough to show. But I do have his beard completed. And next I'm going to be working on the hat. So it's really, really fun. And I haven't looked forward yet, but the way that I'm going to probably do it is wait until a full clue is released. So I know for the way that it works out is she releases either a clue or a piece of the story every day. So if the clue, say for the hat, gets released today, it might only be half the hat. So I would wait until the whole hat has been released, and then I would do it. So yeah, it's only like a day or probably the next day you would get the other section of the hat, but I'm just waiting for sections like that. So same thing for the body. I would wait for the whole body pattern to be released before I would do it. That's just the thought that I have in my mind right now. Who knows what's going to happen, but I'm excited to see how it turns out. So yeah. So the next one, I actually don't physically have it, but I will insert a picture here. So my friend Angela that I talk about a lot, she is my local yarn store owner of the Northern Pearl. Hi, Angela. She loves gnomes, and I decided to crochet her a little gnome for Christmas. So she already has it, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. So it's the Beekeeper Gnome, and I will have the link below to where you can find it. I purchased it as a PDF download on Etsy. He was so much fun to make, guys, and the pattern was so well designed and written. I enjoyed it thoroughly. So as you can tell, the beard is looped. So that was the crochet loops that I could not figure out. She displayed it well, and there are YouTube videos that could help you out to figure it out, but I just got frustrated and I decided to take some fiber. So Angela had gifted me a needle felting kit when we did our other mystery gnome along in August or September. So I have never needle felted in my life. So I was like, okay, let's give this a try. So I just took some of the roving and I just used my hands to pull some out. And then I just kept like kind of carding it with my hands until I kind of got a shape that I wanted. And then I put it on his body, and then I took the felting needle and I just started to felt down like the top section of his beard to felt it to his body. and then I lifted up the beard and I did the same to the like the underside of his beard, just so it would kind of conform to the body and not fall off. So that was a lot of fun, and I'm not gonna lie, I kind of am now interested in needle felting, and I might have saw a couple YouTube videos of gnomes that were needle felted, so I really don't want to fall down another rabbit hole, but who knows? But yeah, he was a lot of fun to make. So I highly recommend that you check out that pattern, and it was very much well received. Angela loved it, so I am glad. The only thing different about the pattern is I decided to do a little crocheted daisy that I put on his hat, and I just followed a YouTube video for that. Or just a pattern. I just searched up a crochet daisy on Google and just found a free pattern. I don't even remember which one, but super simple. So yeah, for him I used just some leftover yarns that I had. I believe the gold color was Midnight Cravings in the Harvest colorway, and then the black is just some Cascade 220 that I had left over. His hat was also some leftover yarn. I believe it was the Fiber Co. Amber, and I don't know what the colorway was, but it was a very beautiful heathered brown that had some tones of blue in it. So pretty. So yeah, I highly enjoyed that pattern. So I would like to make him again, but maybe not as a bee. Just change up his colors a little bit. Something that is interesting about him, and I failed to mention it on my Advent gnome, something I really enjoyed about the bee gnome, and I don't think I'm going to be giving too much away. When you crochet it, you're starting from the bottom working up, and it's really cool because once you get the circumference of his body completed, you trace that out on a piece of cardboard and you cut out like a circle and you put that in the bottom, and it really gives him a lot of stability to sit. So if you've worked a lot of crocheted stuffies or amigurumi, you know that sometimes, especially if you're not that great at sewing his legs on, he looks like he's drunk. He wants to fall over. So I thought this was genius, and it was so easy to do. So I actually did that with my adventure gnome, and knitting is a little bit different. You're starting from the top of his body working down, but I kind of did the same thing. When I saw that I was about to decrease, I set him on a piece of cardboard and I traced it out. And then once I got through half of my decreases, I just slipped in the piece of cardboard, and yeah, he sits up. So, and it looks nice. I think I could have done a little bit better job. Maybe the circle should have been a little bit smaller, but either way, he turned out great, and he sits up. So that's just a cool little thing that was added to the Beekeeper's pattern, and I thought it was genius. So I did it with the knit pattern as well from Imagine Landscapes, and it worked. So if you're having that issue, or that's something that bothers you, that they don't sit up, then maybe try a piece of cardboard. It works. So you can use weighted pellets. That's what Imagine Landscape suggests in her pattern. So fiberfill with weighted pellets. I just don't have any on hand, so I'm just using what I have. So yeah. Anyways, so there's that. And the next thing I have for finished objects is a completed pair of socks. So I finally finished my Halloween socks, or as I'm calling them now, my tiger socks, because, you know, Halloween is well over. So these are actually the Peppermint Garland socks by Dana Ray Makes. And she knit them up as a kind of like a Christmas pattern. So I just interpret that into like a Halloween pattern. You can do anything you want. It's an awesome pattern. So I used one of my yarnables. I think this was September's colorway, and it was called Sweet and Sour. So that's my main color. And then the black is just some Pro Lana that I got from my local yarn store. And it's got a slip stitch, heel, flap, and gusset, rounded toe, which is in the pattern. This is a really, really fun pattern. It is not hard at all. And once you've done a couple of the repeats, you've got it down. You got it hands down. So yeah, I really love this pattern. So, sad story. This yarn softens up so nicely. And I do have enough left over to knit myself a pair of socks from it. These are not for me. They were supposed to be for me, but I cast it on 56 stitches on a 2mm needle, and it's just not wide enough for my foot. So I will be gifting these to somebody, but which is fine. But I'm gonna have to go back up to a 64 stitch count. So yeah. Oh well. They are done though, and they are wonderful. So that is the Peppermint Garland sock pattern by Dana Ray Makes. So there's that. So the next thing I have to share with you is a half finished object. So I was part of Julie Ann Knitter's Patreon group for a little while, and she did a Christmas or holiday swap in October. So I think we were supposed to have them shipped out by October. So I got paired up with my partner, Wendy. So if you're watching, hi, Wendy. So she sent me this beautiful package, and I think I might have shared it with you guys on the last podcast, but just in case I didn't, she shared this beautiful bag. This was a maker from Alberta, but I don't know who did it. I don't know who the maker was, but I absolutely adore it. I love Minnie Mouse. She's my favorite. And yeah, so it did come with this little ring, and I put like a lobster clasp with a handle on it, just because I like to hang it off of my chair as I am knitting. So yeah, but it is a zippered bag, and it's got these cute little stars inside, and it is quilted as well. So it is a very beautiful bag. So thank you so much, Wendy, because I've been enjoying this thoroughly. So the yarn that she gifted me is Raven's Wood Fiber Co. And it is a Canadian dyer. I think she's from Ontario. So it was a sock blank that was dyed. And what she did was it is a fingering weight, so it says it's an 85 superwash merino, 15% nylon, 400 yards. So what she did is she took the 2 strands of fingering, and she knit up the sock blank and then dyed it. So when you pulled it apart, you got 2 separate cakes to knit your socks, and it was dyed up the same. So it was really, really cool. I've never used one before. There's her little tag, and the colorway was called Tranquil Night. So I'm just going to share with you one of the little cakes here. This is the second one. So there's some green in the middle, and I'm not sure if you guys can see, there's a bit of pink poking through, and then it goes into a turquoise, and then this beautiful dark blue. So yeah, it was a lot of fun to knit up. And there was also a little 20-gram mini skein that was gifted with it as well, a pretty pink. I chose not to use the mini skein. I think I'm just gonna save this for my blanket or a gnome, or who knows, but I just decided to not use it. So here is the first sock, and I went through this super quick. So I usually don't do socks with very long legs on them, but I definitely wanted to get all the colors. And I just started to get into the deeper blue here. But yeah, it would be perfect if you wanted to do this. This yarn reminds me of the Destructed Fades by Shirley Bryan yarn. If you wanted to do this and really use up all of it, it'd probably be better to do a toe-up sock. That way you do your foot, your heel of choice, and then just keep knitting until your yarn runs out. So I didn't want to do that because I didn't know how much yarn I would have left. So I could have kept going for a while on the leg because I still got all of the deep blue pretty much. So yeah, I could have went for a little bit longer, but oh well. I am a cuff down kind of person, so yeah. So this, I didn't use any pattern. I just did a 70 stitch cast on, 2x2 ribbing, and then I went down to 64 stitches. Did I? I might have kept 70 stitches until I got down to here, and then I decreased down to 64, did my heel flap and gusset, and then went down to 56. So I did like all the sizes, but I just wanted it to fit my leg better because sometimes when you just do a stockinette sock, plain sock, it tends to want to fall off your leg. So, but I tried it on last night and it fit beautifully, so I'm quite happy with what I did. But you can see how it starts off with the green. There's that section of pink and the turquoise, and you're just getting a little bit of that dark blue, not very much. Yeah, it's perfect. I did a heel slip stitch, heel flap and gusset because that fits my foot best. Rounded toe. It's wonderful. So, like I said, these were a lot of fun to do, so I'm going to cast on. I haven't casted on the second one just yet, but I'm going to get that casted on and have a nice pair of socks for Christmas, hopefully. So yeah, that has been a lot of fun. And I got this little sheep. This wasn't from the swap, but it's from the Fringe Supply Co. This was at a local store in Peterborough, Ontario, Needles in the Hay. They had like a Black Friday sale and I just had to have him. He was adorable. So he's just living on my bag here. Okay, so that's it for finished objects. So like I said, there is a few more things, but I cannot share them. So we're going to move on into works in progress. So the first thing that I am going to share with you guys has been living in one of my favorite project bags, J. Henry Designs, Barrie, Ontario. Love them. They also are the dyers behind, oh boy, Full Moon Fibers. I'm sorry, guys. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I got requested to make another pair of mittens. So on the last podcast, I shared with you that I had knit up a pair of just plain Jane blue mittens. Well, my friend has now requested a second pair. So they are keeping his hands nice and warm. He has had frostbite on his hands before, so as soon as his hands get cold, it's bad. So he said that, could you do maybe them in thicker yarn? So I didn't have any thicker yarn that was like wool in my stash, so I compromised and I decided to try Thromed Mittens. And I had never done them before. I've always wanted to, but I was a little intimidated by it. So if you're not quite sure what a thrum is, you just knit a plain mitten and you take spinning fiber and you just draft a little bit out, and you knit into the stitch, you drop your working yarn and you just put this piece of fiber on, knit it in, and there's an extra step to it, but it's super simple. All I did was, I didn't follow a pattern for this. Well, I kind of did. I'm doing the World's Simplest Mittens by Tin Can Knits, and for the thrum part of it, now that's just a plain mitten. For the thrum part, I just watched a video by Sassy of Very Pink Knits. I love her. She has wonderful instructional videos on a lot of knitting techniques and such, so you can find her here on YouTube. But she had a video on thrumming, and like I said, it's so simple. So all I did was adapted Tin Can Knits mitten pattern and just added in thrums randomly, and it worked out. So here is the mitten that I did. So I used Cascade 220. Don't know what the colorway is, it's just a pretty deep red. And then I just used some Ashford Corriedale fiber, and I just pull out the it comes like in a bat or a roll, so all I do is just pull out a little bit. You can do them as thick or as thin as you want to. Mine kind of vary, and all I did was I knit 2 rows, and then on the 3rd row I put my thrums in, and I'm just spacing them out, you know, so they're, yeah, it's so simple. I was so intimidated by thrums for such a long time because I thought it would be complicated, but it's not. The rows, you're not doing it every row, so you have 2 plain rows of rest, and then the row of the thrums, it does not take long at all. It doesn't take long at all, guys. And then for the thumb, I kind of made them a little bit sparse, but yeah, it's a lot of fun. And I don't know, this is the greatest part about it. Look at all that fiber in there. So when you first go to put your hand in it, it is a little tricky because you're like, am I gonna pull the fiber out? But you don't. Once you put it on once or twice, it conforms to your hand. It feels lovely and oh, so nice. So these are not for me, they are a gift. But I will definitely be knitting myself a pair of these because they are amazing. I love them. So yeah, and if you want to follow an actual pattern, I know that there is Thromed Mitten patterns on Ravelry and such, so I'm sure if you searched it up you can find it. I really love Tin Can Knit patterns and their World's Simplest Mitten. I've done it quite a bit now, so I'm just familiar with the pattern and I know that it works, so I just gravitated towards it, and the thrumming was easy to adapt, so that's what I did, and I love it. And I got my friend to try them on, or try the one on because I've only got one done, and he loves it too, so I'm super excited about that. So yeah, there's that. And I will leave a if I can remember, I'll leave a pattern link for Tin Can Knit pattern, and I'll also leave a link to Stacy's thrummed video or thrumming video as well. So there's that. The next thing that I have to share with you, I actually did get to work on my Autumn League pullover a little bit. And it is living inside of one of my bags with my kitty cats. I absolutely love it. So the last time I shared it with you guys, I think I was just below the separation for the sleeves. Just set that aside there. Well, I ended up, this is kind of before Christmas knitting kind of got started. I was hoping to have it done, but I didn't. So this is the Autumn League pullover by Two of Wands. And it's just a real sweatshirty type sweater. It's got raglan increases, and it's got this nice little detail on the front. Well, I completed the body, I got the ribbing all done, and that's as far as I got. So I just have to put the sleeves on it and I'll be able to wear it, and I'm super excited, you guys. I absolutely love this sweater. So I think I might actually put the collar on it before I start the sleeves, just so I don't have to deal with the sleeves and turning. But yeah, I absolutely love it. And I did do a split hem on it. So I don't want to give the pattern away, but I might have mentioned it in the last video. The way that the pattern is written up, you are working in the round for the top yoke. It's raglan. When you go to separate for the sleeves, you are working either the back first or the front first, and then you would seam down the sides. I chose not to do that. I chose to separate for my sleeves and just continue knitting in the round. And then when I got to the length of my body, all I did was put the front stitches on like scrap yarn, and then I knit the back and then cast it off and then went back to the front and did the front. So that's all I did. I prefer knitting in the round as to working back and forth, especially on a big sweater. So yeah, that was the only modification that I really did, but it is a lovely pattern. I am doing the extra large size, which I think is the largest size in the pattern, and I did try it on and it fits perfectly. I love it. So the yarn that I'm using for this project, now this is not the yarn that the pattern used, but I got inspired by the girls over at Cozy Up Knits. They have knit the Autumn League as well, and it uses Lion Brand jeans yarn, which is a cotton. And when I ordered it, I accidentally ordered it. I ordered it from Yarn Canada, but I ordered the wrong jeans yarn. So the one that the pattern used was the cotton version. I got the acrylic version. So it's still really nice yarn. It's super, super soft. It is 100% acrylic, this one. And the color is, I guess it would be color number is 108R, which is brand new. So it's a pretty blue. It is super soft, and I know I've complained about this in other videos, but my only issue with it is a little bit splitty. But the only way that it bothered me is when I was doing my increases. If you weren't careful, it would split the yarn, but it wasn't that bad at all. So I really like this yarn. It hasn't been washed or blocked yet, but it is super soft. It doesn't have that real rough feeling that sometimes acrylic can have. It's really soft, so I'm excited about that. So maybe there will be another sweater's quantity of it. I don't know. It is quite affordable, so we'll see. But that is my Autumn League pullover by Two of Wands. Such a well-written pattern. Okay. So we got that finished. What else do we got here? Okay, so the next thing I'm going to share with you guys, there will be some crinkling. I got an advent calendar this year. This is the first year that I have had one, and it is so much fun, and yeah, I've been thoroughly enjoying it. So I got my advent from my local yarn store. The owner, Angela, she dyes her own yarn. So when I heard that she was coming out with an advent, I just had to have it, and I had to support her. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun. So for a pattern, and I don't think I have it here with me, but she, day one, when you opened it up, so you get 10, 20, hang on, you get 25 10-gram minis, and then you had the option of getting a full skein on day 25, and that's what I chose to do. So there are extras in the days as well, some of the days. And on the first day, she actually included a coupon code to download one of Crazy Sock Lady's cowl patterns. And I don't remember the name of the pattern, but it's her Chevron Cowl. So it uses like all the different like minis and such. Super cute. So I was going to cast that one on, and then I thought how I'd always wanted to do the Snow Melt, I think it's called, by Helen Stewart. She did that as an Advent wrap a couple years ago, and it was quite huge at the time. So I'd always wanted to do that, but the only sort of issue, is that it used 20 gram minis, not 10. So I did cast it on. I got a couple, I think I got to day 4, and then I was doing some calculations, and I just decided that it wasn't going to work out, or at least I didn't think it was going to work out. I would have been short by quite a bit, so I took it back out. So I am far behind, but I took a look back on Ravelry at some patterns, and Cozy Up Knits actually came out with 2 Advent patterns this year. One of them uses 20 gram minis, and the other used 10. So it was perfect. So the one that I chose was the Sassy Advent Wrap. So it can be knit up as a wrap, or you can join it to make like, I guess it would be like an infinity scarf. So it is, when you start it, it does have a provisional cast on, and you don't have to decide right away if you want it to be a wrap. It can be a wrap, or if you choose to join it, you can do that as well. So I'm going to join mine. So like I said, there will be some crinkling here, but here's what I have so far. So like I say, I'm way behind because I tore out, so this is only day 1, but you can see the provisional cast on here. I just did a crochet one, and so the Sassy Advent Wrap uses 24 10 gram minis and then a 50 gram fingering weight, so as your main color. So my main color, I am just holding a strand of white, which I believe is Pro Lana, and I'm using a strand of mohair with it. And then I'm putting in my stripes of my Advent. So this was day 1, and you can see this one has like kind of chevron bumps in the pattern. So I think I'm gonna really enjoy this. I have so far. So I think there's maybe 4 or 5 different stitch patterns in this wrap, and they all look like a lot of fun. So I am super excited to get further on this. So I hope to work on it a little bit today, but I was hoping to get like the color completed every day. But like I said, it's not gonna happen, but maybe I can get a couple days knitted up on it today. We'll see. But yeah, so that was day 1, and I don't know if I might actually get it confused a little bit, but here was day 2, and then I believe this was day 3, which is a pretty pastel-y pink. And then day 4 is this pretty brown with deeper specks in it. And like I said, I think I might get this mixed up just a little bit, but there was this one, and just dropped one, but she put them in these really cute packages. So I have not been disappointed so far. There's a pretty brown one. And I think the one I dropped is another one of my favorites. It had a candy cane in the package with it, and it pretty much looked like a white and red, white, and pink candy cane is what was given, and that's exactly what her skein looked like. It was so beautiful, but that's of course the one I dropped. But here was today's, so it's brown with some reds in it. So pretty. The Northern Pearl. Oh, hang on. There we go. I absolutely am loving my advent so far. So thank you so much, Angela, for putting in all that hard work. This was also included in today's package as well. There's some pretty stitch markers. Whimsy Bit Studio. They're so cute, so these are definitely going to go on my wrap. So I've been enjoying that. So I am down to the last of my Christmas knitting now. So I hope to put some real work into this now. So for right now, I got it housed in my JoJo bag, and I love it. So I've been enjoying that. Okay, so that's all I got to share with you guys for works in progress. So I don't have any spinning, so I'm just going to go on into a little bit of stash enhancement. So keeping on with the Northern Pearl, I ended up getting some more minis. She's been dyeing up these sets of 5 minis in different colors, and oh, yeah, they're awesome. And this one, as soon as I saw it, I just had to bring it home. I just loved it. It's absolutely beautiful. So my event gnome for this year, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be stealing some of these colors, so we'll see how it goes, but I absolutely adore these. These are beautiful. It is an 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. These are 20 gram minis, and I don't know what the colorway name is because I kind of stole it from her before she could label it. Thank you, Angie. Angela, sorry. So yeah. Yeah. So I got that. And she also does her own bags, project bags. So that's her little logo, her little sheet. So I got that as well. So that's a lot of fun. And then I ended up making a small order with Polka Dot Creek. She had like a Black Friday sale going on. So I didn't bring it with me, but I ended up picking up another skein of Bee's Knees, which is it's like an ivory base with it pink, and I think it's got some mustard yellow and maybe a little bit of dark green in there, like speckles. So I picked that out so I would have 2 skeins. I already have one here, and I picked that out for the Cozy Up mystery knit along that's starting in January. So if you're not aware of the Cozy Up Knit Girls, gotta check them out. They are amazing. They're 4 sisters from Grand Prairie, Alberta, and every January they do a mystery knit along. So usually it's a shawl. So we don't know what the shawl looks like. Obviously it's a mystery. We really don't know the shape of it. but they do tell us what we would need. So for this year's Mystery Knit Along, if you want to do a fingering weight version, you need 2 skeins of fingering weight and 3 20-gram mini skeins. So they recommend that you use a solid for the main color, and then your minis are like pops of color. So I kind of forgot about that part and I went with bee's knees. So I don't know if it's going to work, but it's a light, I think it's a light speckle. We'll have to see. But anyways, if you wanted to do the DK version, it's 3 skeins of DK and 3 50-gram 350-gram pops of color. I'm not sure, but I do know that Shelly from Polka Dot Creek has done some kits. The Creative Knitter has made some kits as well, and Kim from Ginger Snap has made some kits up for the Mal. So do check out all those shops and you can kind of get an idea as to what you would need, and some very beautiful colors, color choices as well. So I did order that. This is not for the make along, but I just added a couple mini skeins to my order. This is these are 20 gram. This is Polka Dot Creek. I love Shelly's yarn. She just does the most beautiful colorways. So this is Spice Market, and these are 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. And then this one here, I couldn't resist. It's called Down the Chimney. And it is so cute. So I just picked those up as extras. Don't know what they're going to be for. Probably my blankets. So yeah, I've been addicted to all the mini skeins. And then I made an order with Needles in the Hay, which is a yarn store in Peterborough, Ontario. And I decided to get 2 skeins of the Fiber Co. Amble. It is a very beautiful yarn. It is fingering weight. Let me see here. It is merino wool, alpaca, and recycled nylon. And it is just so soft and so beautiful. It is 70% wool, 20% alpaca, 10% nylon, made in Peru. So you get 355 yards per 100 grams. And I absolutely love all of the Fiber Co.'s yarns. I have tried, I got their Lore base as well, which is kind of like a DK. And I haven't tried their others, but I have had the opportunity to feel them, and they are all amazing. So I really like it. So this one is Red Screes is the colorway name. So my reasoning for this purchase was because, one, I just really love Amble. It's a beautiful yarn. But 2, I was watching Pearled in Texas, and Elizabeth had done a hipster shawl. She did the worsted version, but I want to do the light version, and hers was a very beautiful red, and lately I've been very much into wearing red, so I decided that this would make a beautiful hipster shawl. So I did cast on a hipster shawl in the summer, and it ended up getting frogged because, for one, there is a section where you do like yarn overs, like drop stitches, and I was doing my yarn overs way too tight, and then for some reason I was messing up somewhere, so my stitch count was like way off. So I got frustrated and I just frogged it. So I'm gonna make another attempt with it again to see what I was doing wrong. So yeah, we'll see. But I would really love to have a hipster shawl in red, so I got those. Ooh. And then lastly, I was watching the Grocery Girls, and Tracy had shared a new club that has started. So it is by the Long Way Fiber Mill Homestead. So what it is you can go onto their website, and you can either subscribe to a monthly subscription for fiber that you spin, or you can get already spun yarn. So you can get the yarn. So every month they give you a new type of fiber, and it comes from their sheep. So I believe they are based out west, like the farms. They use different farms. And it's really cool because, for one, it's super cheap. It's only $20 a month for either one skein of yarn or one thing of fiber. So that's super cool. And the other cool thing is that it's helped supporting sheep farmers in the prairies. And they had troubles this summer with drought and all that. So they don't have a lot of like hay and feed for their sheep. So Long Way donates money to help them to help the farms out in the prairies. So I thought that was just amazing. And you can also purchase a calendar as well. I think it's a 2 sheeps calendar, which I actually have one now, and I've really been enjoying it. But I think it's like a $20 calendar as well. So do check them out. Like I said, you can either you can do the yarn club for $20 a month, or you can do the fiber club, and every month you get a new type of fiber. So it's really amazing. And if you don't want either, you can just, they do have, like I said, a calendar, and perhaps maybe they have some other merchandise, or you can just donate. They have that option as well, where you can donate to help out the farms as well. So it's a really great cause. So I decided to subscribe to the fiber, and this would be for November. So the breed of the month was Rambouillet. I have spun with Rambouillet before. It is such a light, fluffy fiber. I absolutely love it. So they give you this nice little card, which I absolutely love. So it shows you the sheep, and it tells you all about it, like its history. And then on the back of the card, it gives you information about it. So your staple length and all the infos about it. So that's really cool. I really like that. So they did put it in like a vacuum sealed package, which helps cut down on shipping, so that's appreciated. I think in total it's like $25 a month, which that's including your shipping, so that's very reasonable. So here is the fiber. Oh, and it is so squishy and so soft. I absolutely love it. So you can tell that there is definitely still bits of hay in that, in the wool. That is okay with me. That doesn't bother me. It has been pre-washed and cleaned. There's just a little bit of stuff in it. That doesn't concern me. And it just pulls off like that, which I really like that. It makes it much easier to draft it and spin it. So I believe that there is, I think there's 2 ounces here, if I remember correctly. I think there's 2 ounces. I can't remember. But yeah, we'll see how that spins up, and I have no idea what I am going to do with them. They do come undyed, so yeah, we'll see. But it's just supporting a great cause, and it's a great way to, if you are new to spinning maybe, it's a great way to get to try out new fibers. Yeah, so I absolutely love it. Rambouillet, like I said, is one of my favorites, so I was super excited to find out that that was the fiber of the month. I love it. so there was that. So that was Longway Homestead. I will, if I can remember, put a link to their website in the description box below as well. So yeah, that's all I have for today, you guys. I hope to be back within the next 2 weeks, hopefully with a little bit more content this time. Like I said, I'm wrapping up my holiday knitting, so I should have more to show for. So yeah, if I don't see you before Christmas, I hope you guys all have a great Christmas or great holidays. Stay safe out there, and I wish you guys all the best for 2021. Or 2022, sorry. But I'm pretty sure I'll be back before then, but if not, I wish you guys all the best. So until next time, take great care and happy knitting. Bye.